Available.
And we had about 2 inches of snow today. Mm-hmm. 2 inches. Speed this up. We're gonna start from front and go straight back. Front of the house. Two inches of snow. It took all day to get these 2 inches, but here they are now. 2 inches. Just 1 or 2 shots of the garden. This storm isn't worthy of a full spectra, and besides that, I'm out of time. For all the bitter cold weather that we had in January, this little 2-inch snowfall is all that we have to show for it. Well, it's better than nothing.
Where you find it.
You to me are sweet as roses in the morning. You to me are soft as summer rain at dawn. In love we share, that's something rare.
Say it how it's meant to be said with a gift from 1-800-Flowers.com. And send your truest Valentine feelings with our lovely sentimental Valentine. Call, click, or come in today.
That's the way it's meant to be.
Tonight at 8 p.m., brace yourself for storm stories. A tornado rages through a neighborhood.
It's coming toward our house.
See for yourself the awesome power.
I remember a sound like an explosion.
Plus, sheets of ice 4 inches thick.
I realized that something major was coming.
Relive the most destructive natural disaster in Canada's history.
People were actually suffering from hypothermia.
Watch a new series from the Weather Channel, Storm Stories, tonight at 8 Eastern and Pacific.
Storm Stories, tonight at 8 on the Weather Channel. And now, here's your local on the 8s.
You're watching the Weather Channel. Live by it.
Well, if you're driving in Manhattan this afternoon, you're in for a very slushy commute home. As temperatures drop, streets could become icy, so you definitely want to be careful. Details on tonight's weather are just ahead.
And if you live in Seattle, it means you don't let any rain keep you from jogging or maybe walking your dog. The good news is it's not a cold rain. You had highs in the mid-40s today, and any rain we can get here is actually good news. We're still in a bit of a drought. Hello and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Jeff Morrow alongside Vivian Brown.
Hello, and thanks for joining us. Now, we'll have a look at the weather and how it's fitting your lifestyle. That's coming up in just a moment. But first, a look at the Northeast, because it's a little damper on our lifestyle, perhaps in the Boston area, New York. Call ahead of time if you're flying into LaGuardia, the John F. Kennedy, or Logan. May have some delays at the airport because of the snow we've been dealing with pretty much all afternoon. We are also watching a little bit of light snow as it's kind of enhanced the moisture off of Lake Ontario here and the eastern tip of Lake Erie too. Again, this is light snow on Interstate 81, but be careful anyway. It's a little heavier as you head closer to the coast, which is ironic, I know. Boston, you've been reporting snow pretty much all afternoon, so I'm sure a couple of inches will be tallied by the end of the day. The snow extending out to the Cape Cod area as well as Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. Snow has returned to Providence, Rhode Island, as well as Hartford, Groton, Connecticut, reporting snow. And we're noticing this little narrow band now moving across the lower Hudson River Valley toward the LaGuardia Airport now. So it is definitely a wintry scene for the big cities over the Northeast. You know, if you were watching this time yesterday, I was standing right here telling you that snow was going to move into the big cities, and that's just what we're having right now. Philadelphia reporting snow. Now, earlier we had a little bit of ice, reports of in Baltimore. Officially, it has changed over to snow at this hour, but it has been rain for the most part all afternoon in the Washington, D.C. area, southward toward Fredericksburg and the Richmond area. All of this wet weather has moved into the Chesapeake Bay vicinity, and it's a chilly rain, too, because temperatures are just above the freezing mark in Washington, D.C., where it's 34. 32, though, in Philadelphia, New York, and 27 in Boston. Very cold air in place, and the wintry precipitation right on with it. We think, though, that the precipitation will be moving out overnight tonight, and tomorrow we'll be left with partly to mostly sunny conditions across northern New England, but the cold air is still pretty much in place. That's a look at the Northeast. So let's take you southward now with Jim.
And Vivian, we find plenty of rain to talk about, something we haven't seen a lot of. We've seen a little snow from time to time and plenty of dry, cold air, but this is something we haven't seen, a cold front moving through with a fair amount of rain. Now that front taking its time. In fact, it's getting hung up here a little bit. I think what's going to happen is a little wave of low pressure may be developing here in Louisiana, and that'll hold the front up, and then it'll ride to the east as we head through tonight and tomorrow, and then finally the front will get a kick all the way down off the coast and into Florida. Before that, though, we have some rain to deal with. It's been kind of a rainy day over much of central and western North Carolina. Not very much in the eastern parts of the state, a few sprinkles in the Outer Banks, but overall a dry and a fairly warm day compared to what you saw. Hopefully a lot of that snow you got last week is melting or has melted. We have all this rain back through Atlanta to Birmingham and then down I-20 all the way to Meridian. South of there, Laurel and Hattiesburg, not a wet day today. Actually, New Orleans has been fairly dry and mild. But in this band back here around Alexandria down to Lake Charles, I have detected, or the lightning detection has detected, some lightning in there. So there are some thunder showers here in this band as it moves east. Could be a rumble of thunder around Lafayette, Baton Rouge, all the way up to Natchez. 44 in Little Rock, 49 at Dallas. That's to the north of the front. South of it, you can see temperatures generally transition to the 60s and the 70s, including here in Florida. There's that little wave of low pressure riding east tomorrow morning. That'll enhance some of the rain here. Maybe a little ice in northern North Carolina. Shouldn't be a big deal. But the rain in Atlanta for the rush hour might be, so be careful out there. Now the Midwest, here's Vivian.
Well, across the Midwest, we are watching some clouds, but plenty of sunshine. And where we do have the sunshine, we have cold air, like in Minneapolis. It's 14 degrees. I know, but it was much, much colder than this, say, a week ago. So this is just basically what we've come to I wouldn't say necessarily appreciate, but what we've come to become accustomed to here across the Midwest this time of year. 16 in Green Bay, 24 in Chicago, 29 towards St. Louis, 32 in Kansas City, as well as Lincoln, Nebraska. High pressure keeping the weather pattern very tranquil across a good part of the Midwest, and it'll influence the weather pattern all this evening and overnight tonight. But by tomorrow, we'll watch another system swing southward, and that could bring us some light snow over North Dakota and northern Minnesota, but partly cloudy skies for Chicago, St. Louis, and Kansas City. That's a look at the upper Midwest. Now the far west with Jeff.
All right, let's check out the satellite picture first of all. That perspective shows a lot of moisture coming in off the Pacific into Washington and Oregon. Once again, though, bypassing California for the most part, even northern California, nothing more than a few showers. You have to head a little bit farther north along I-5 to get into the rain. Right now, a lot of the steadiest precipitation appears to be moving through the Cascades and on to the east over toward Walla Walla as well as Spokane, where it's warm enough for rain in those areas. North of Spokane, though, you get into some colder air and some snow, and there still is some snow, particularly on the summit here of like Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass and just to the east of there. In fact, I just checked Stampede Pass right here the last hour, and it was snowing heavily. Rain, though, down through the Portland area, but nothing for California and the bone-dry Southwest. Another warm day here, though. We'll talk about that after your local on the 8s.
Refinancing your mortgage is fast and easy with Ditech.com.
At Ditech, we refinanced our home at a lower interest rate, and we also took out an equity line of credit to have available for future use, and we were very, very happy.
If you're thinking about refinancing your mortgage, call or log on to Ditech.com for today's low fixed rate.
I would highly recommend Ditech to others because the process was so quick and easy, and the people were great.
Ditech.com. Call 1-800-71-FIXED.
My new baby's name is Max. He's waking up about now. My business partner's name is Joe.
This has everything you're looking for. It has
I see him more than I see Max. It's also my birthday. And I wouldn't mind working from home today.
For a limited time only, get free shipping on select home PCs. Ever wondered what it's really like to be a soldier?
What do you got? I have a sit rep from Alpha Company. CT, ready to be verified. Verified.
Put yourself in the picture with this free video. You'll see over 200 great jobs in the Army and over 180 in the Army Reserve. You'll also see what skills you learned, how you can earn money for college, even what soldiers do in their free time. Call 1-800-984-ARMY now and get this free t-shirt and your free video. Put yourself